All right, so this is a very exciting day. So I've decided to do an immediate unpacking because I want to get into these boxes, and I didn't want to wait too long before doing anything about it. So this is exciting. I wasn't a backer of the original Hellboy Kickstarter, so this is Hellboy, right? And I missed out on that. So everything I have is retail. So there's a few things that were missing that were exclusive to Kickstarter. Now, last year, Mantic did another Kickstarter for an expansion called, deliciously, The Big Box of Doom, and decided to reproduce some of the other stuff from the first Kickstarter that would have not been available until now. So I am very happy to have got my hands on some stuff I thought I would never get. This game gives me a lot of pleasure. It doesn't come out onto the table that often because it's quite long-winded, and I usually get beaten up something terrible, but I get a lot of pleasure out of it. I love the theme. I love the way it's put together, and I love painting the miniatures. The miniatures are really quite outstanding. So let's get on with some unboxing. So this one first is a little puffy bag. Now I've already opened this, which is a terrible thing to do, I know, but we're going to do this on close up. This is Resin translucent Johann Krauss. This has been so Johann Krauss. He's just this ectoplasm inside his suit, and he can come out of his suit, and his suit sort of crumples to the ground, and he comes out of his suit and floats around and does things. So normally you have to do something really boring, which is to use a cube, use a colored cube to indicate where he is, or you can have this lovely little piece of his deflated suit. There he is. And this gorgeous translucent miniature where he is. And so now obviously these are going to get snipped away. These aren't particularly clean. There's a bit of nastiness there I've got to get rid of, and this one, when it came, had quite a big lug sticking out there, but that's not a big deal really, is it? So those are good. Those are good. I'm very happy about those. So you can see it properly. That is fantastic. So there is the first thing that I had that I did not have before. That makes me very excited. The next thing is another small one. Nimue, the Blood Queen. Now I'm going to try. Now I have a thing with these boxes. I can almost never get into these kinds of boxes, particularly when they have these tabs on the top, these retail tabs, whatever they call them. I should know because I used to be in packaging. So if I try and open it there, I will tear it. And I have so many boxes that are torn up there, so I'm going to try and open it at the bottom and try to take this out without ripping it. Oh, look, I did it. Exciting times. What do we have? No, I've never seen this in real life. So let's see what we have. Here she is. Oh, very nice. Well, that's going to be fun to paint, right? Look at that. So sweeping clothes, gown, hair. Excellent. She's going to be in red though, which is always an absolute pain to paint in red, but there you go. So it happens. All right. So we have Nimue, and we have her cards. I'm going to use my precision opener. And precision open it like that. Okay. New rules. Okay, resolving unexpected threats. So you're able to put these enemies, because they don't fit to any particular scenario, you can inject them using the BPRD case files, which helps you to generate, the more you have, the better. It helps you to generate random or semi-random scenarios. I say semi-random because you don't know what the boss is, but it has a system that allows them to have the boss minions in context with the boss, so it's not completely random and nonsensical. So you kind of know, if a particular minion comes up, you kind of know which boss it's likely to be. You certainly know which boss it's not going to be. But these are kind of random encounters that you can put in. So you randomly select these additional encounters, and they may well turn up or they may not. There she is, health of 20. That's great. Oh, 8 damage on a range attack. Yeah, okay, she's going to be fun. And some boss cards. There's some specific cards for her if she's a boss, because she will have specific actions that she will do that is unique to her. And you see lugs again. Now this is a little disappointing. See that? But I'm kind of, I'll forgive them on if I see that on the main box. I'm going to be irritated, to say the least. All right, I'm going to make a mess over here. Please don't tell me off for making a mess. All right, Krampus. Now this one doesn't have a tab on it. All right, so do you reckon I'm going to be able to get in without tearing it? Possibly not. Oh, limited edition too. Fantastic. Very happy to have got this one. Here we go. Here we go. All right. Doesn't help that I'm trying to do this on the top of a bunch of other boxes, does it? There we go. Nice little cardboard box. They're not mantic pretty good for not having completely environmentally unfriendly packaging. I mean, there's a bit of plastic in here, but these are cardboard. There's a lot of cardboard in their stuff. So what do we have in here? Now, let's take these cards, put these out. Have a look at those in a sec. It looks like I'm going to have to assemble this. Oh, I am. Okay. Oh, look, there's an awful lot of cleanup going to happen here, folks. Yeah. No, that's fine. Get away with. Oh no, that's not. That's just the molds. That's fine. But these are the only bits. So I'm going to have to assemble Krampus. Fantastic. It's going to be very enjoyable. There he is. Oh, there he is. That's just his legs. Look at that. Well, that's not the most exciting thing to see. Unpacking, is it? I shouldn't jog the table. I need to practice this new setup of mine. That's not the most exciting unpacking I've ever done. So let's open up the cards, have a quick look. Okay. Switch over to the other. There we go. Krampus, no ranged attack, has a melee attack, health 16. He moves around quite a bit, considering he's sat on top of a cupboard of some kind, or a bookshelf, or a display cabinet. What a wicked child! Now, the styling of all these is just fantastic. I love them. All right, slightly less interesting. We're going to put that over there and we will deal with it later. Let's look at a slightly bigger box. Limited print, fantastic. Let's flip this over. There you go. See, absolute proof that this is a day one, at least day one for me, unboxing. Those are some nasties. Get rid of that. Slide this up. And what do we have? This looks like character boards. Oh yes, more characters to play. Now I do like it. I do of course, the thing with Hellboy, you want to play Hellboy, you want to play the main 4 characters, and that's fine. But sometimes it's nice to change it up. Give yourself a little bit, bit of variety. Particularly on certain missions. I kind of think that maybe the ones that come in the boxes for particular scenarios are suitable for those scenarios, so I'll probably play them in these boxed scenarios. Lobster Johnson and Roger. Fantastic. Various tiles. I absolutely adore the style of these tiles. And the tiles kind of, I think one thing slightly disappointing about them is there's very little on the tiles that actually mean anything within the context of the scenario. They're just there for styling and give you the right theme, give you the right feel. Stop, it says. So these are the case files. If you haven't seen this before, these are the case files. And these they'll have scenario-specific instructions. They'll have triggers of things that happen within the scenarios and various rule changes within the scenarios. Now, normally, I don't like games where you have a core set of rules and then every time you play it, there's a bunch of other rules you have to remember that are slightly different. And I can get a little tired of that, I have to say. But something about Hellboy just brings me back every time. Okay, so who do we have here? Well, that's Lobster Johnson. There he is. Quite a dark grey on the characters, which is unusual. You can see the comparison in the colours there. And obviously these are going to be painted. I have a bit of a thing with Hellboy in that I will not play until I have painted them. And this looks like Roger. Which means there are still stuff in my collection I haven't played. These look like German soldiers or some kind. So there's stuff in my collection I haven't played yet because I haven't painted them. Which is ridiculous, I know. Take this out. Is ridiculous. Okay. Now they have these nice inserts with these lovely shaped bits of plastic, and you know, I'm not concerned about plastic when it's done well and you're not going to end up throwing it out. Oh, look at that. Look at the size on that. Actually, that is a lot bigger than I was expecting. Wow, and you compare it to... Again, we compare it to one of the characters. That's quite sizable. I am looking at that. I am very pleased that I have upgraded to an airbrush when I'm doing my model, my painting. Okay, what do we have? Yeah, these look like Nazi soldiers. Lots of bad guys. Yeah, those are going to be fun. Fantastic. All right, I'm going to put him back in. If I can work out how he went. Did you notice how he went? Because oh dear, I'm going to have to do that later, aren't I? Right, come on, let's do the big box. It's big box time. I need to clear all my stuff out of the way. But this box has lots of goodies in it. We'll take a look at the back in a minute. This is the new box from this latest release. The Kickstarter was just over a year ago. I think that Mantic have done really well in getting this out now. I think originally it was June, July. It was scheduled to come out, but delays, as often happens in Kickstarter. Now, it's plenty of companies have delayed Kickstarters way longer than just a couple of 3 months. So Mantic have done superbly well. They've mostly kept on schedule, and that pleases us no end. There we go. A nice precision incision. Now there are more. Look at that. There are more investigators, more characters we can play. 3 sets of enemies, and Hellboy the dice game. Now, this is intriguing me. I'm actually surprised Hellboy the dice game didn't come in its own box. Well, perhaps it does have its own box inside. Let's see. Because being a separate game, you might want to take it, and being a smaller game, you might want to take it away somewhere or do something else with it rather than... Yeah, here we go. Rather than take the whole game with you. So I'm hoping it is going to be transportable and not solely within this bit of packaging. Rules. Exploration deck. Oh, so that is the rules for the dice game. It doesn't kind of say much about it. Okay, that's a little odd, a little confusing. Maybe this was an afterthought, or maybe they forgot to pack it in. Who knows? Okay, we'll keep that to one side for a minute. Here are our new characters, our additional characters. Now, by getting this, I don't believe I've got everything that was released for Hellboy from the original Kickstarter. I think there's some stuff in the big box of evil that I don't have. But I'm fine with that. I have made peace with my completionist side. And, we'll cope, right? We'll cope because we've got enough to deal with here. Ted Howard's. Now, you see, a lot of the problem with, or all the challenge with the additional investigators is that they have lower health. Now this guy's got quite a lot of health. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now the Hellboy only has 5, and the other main investigators have 5. But most of the other the additional investigators only have 4. So they're a little bit trickier. I'm kind of guessing that maybe, since they've only got 4, maybe their abilities are a little bit better. It's kind of there to balance, stop them being overpowered. Johann Krauss, Modern Prometheus. Okay. Well, that is interesting. Sledgehammer. Okay. Now, I don't know a lot about these. That's another... that's an evolved Abe Sapien. Okay, I'm interested in that. Oh, so these are alternate... well, that certainly is. Alternate versions of the primary characters. Fantastic. Okay, so Ashley Strode. Someone tell me something about that I don't know about. Because clearly there's something special here. Is it some kind of character? Is it somebody I should know? Because you notice the style is the same. It's not cartoony style. Anyway. Oh, he was on the side of the box. I didn't realise that he was a playable character. Interesting. Cannot use equipment. Vomit up evidence. Rage chilled by humanity. Lovely. There's the man himself. Hellboy. So another version of Hellboy. Excellent. Alright, what else do we have? Let me try not to break things first of all by putting other things on top of them. That'd be great, wouldn't it? More case files. Oh look, a whole pile of them. We got one. Oh, that's a lot. Okay, I have to say this is funny. Let's see that. It's probably not a case file you'll win. It's a grueling slog through wave after wave of enemies and increasingly tough challenges. Want to see how far you get, keeping track of your high score and compete with your friends. Well, at least they're honest about it, right? At least they're upfront about what that is going to do. So a whole bunch of case files. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 case files. Fantastic. And let me see the flood archives. Oh, so much stuff. So much stuff. Okay, what do we have? We'll take this one out. We've got a big dude in there. We'll get to him in a minute. You can't see him, can you? Can't quite see him. Right. Now the other thing that's nice about what Mantic do, they don't stick things down with sticky tape, because they have these things designed properly with little lugs and dents. I don't know if you can see that. So they click in, so they actually fit. I haven't yet had one of these that doesn't fit properly or doesn't behave itself. And, well, it's quite alien-like, isn't it? Oh, it's like a big fat alien. I don't know anything about these enemies. Now, I may love Hellboy, but I'm not some kind of knowledgeable about the lore. I just love it, and I enjoy playing this game. Lots of fascinating stuff to paint. Very dynamic positions, a lot of these as well, which is quite exciting. Slightly bent. Need to adjust that a little bit. And here's Hellboy himself. Hellboy's a great deal of fun to paint. I get the feeling is very much based on the Ron Perlman Hellboy. He kind of has that style about him. Alright, put these to one side. Alright, how do we get this? Oh, this is all one piece. Okay, we'll lift that up. There's a bag. Okay, oh, so this must be part of the dice game. What do we have in here? Okay, so lots of dice. It's very dice dependent. It's very swingy as a result of being dice dependent. And that can be frustrating if you don't like randomness and suddenly losing. This isn't the game for you. What else do we have? Lots of quite fine little characters in here, look. Very, very small. Oh, not looking forward to painting that because it's kind of tiny and the chances of detail getting swallowed up if the paint is a little too thick. That bothers me a little bit, but some really interesting. Oh, look at him. Nice. No head, just a giant mouth on the top of his body. Whole bunch of those. So obviously that's those are kind of the hordes that are going to start attacking us all over the place. And who's this guy? Oh, that's Ted Howard's, right? That's this dude, isn't it? That's this dude, I think. He's kind of shouting. He's got a beard. Yeah, it's got to be him. And she looks far too innocent to be anything other than something completely evil. You just know it, right? All right, the big guy. Let's see what we've got. Obviously, the big main boss on one of the scenarios. Oh, look at that. Spectacular. I don't think I've painted something this big. I think the largest I painted is probably the Balrog from Journeys in Middle-earth, which was challenging because it is made up of charcoal, scorched flesh, and flame and fire. And that was a very interesting experience. This is going to be a very interesting experience. And again, somewhat delighted I've moved up to using an airbrush. Because frankly, if I was going to do that with just brushes, it would be a nightmare. It would take forever. And there we have it. Ah, here's the dice game cards. Let's have a quick look at these cards, shall we? Now, I don't know if you like me, but these packs that don't have some kind of way of getting at them easily, all they have are these little nubs of plastic on the edge. You've got to kind of pull away in the hope that you don't slice off a bit of a card. That bugs me a little bit, to say the least. Which is why I use a scalpel. After many, many years of professionally using a scalpel, not as a surgeon, but as someone who designed and built packaging mock-ups for retail. So there's this deck, and then there's this deck. Who knows? When this card is drawn. So, okay, so there's some card stuff going on. Those are obviously enemies. Yeah. I wonder if you get to use some of these figures, the enemies, as these minis as part of the game as well. Or you can use these minis as part of the game. Now, this is what I mean about a little tear thing. But I can never lift these up. I'm just terrible at it. I never know where the end is. You know what I do? I end up doing this anyway. Look at that. It's nice to see that these cards are very different design from the main game. They're easy to sort them out, easy to separate them. Well, this is going to be my first thing tomorrow. I think reading up on the rules about this and seeing how they work. It looks like there really is just that. That's it. That's the game. That's the dice game. Okay. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with rules that are just two sides of an A4. And frankly, you know, the main game rules aren't hugely voluminous. Oh, and look. We didn't see these. Okay. These little guys here. A little bit of tape. Tape's going to have to come off. Let's see what we can do with it. You're going to come off tape. Yeah, nice and easy. Get rid of that. Get rid of it. I wonder if these are characters. Marvelous. Look at that. Love it. Such personality in these sculpts. Now, I'm a great lover of these kind of resin molded minis rather than the ones you assemble, the kind of ones you get with things like Warhammer and so on. And the reason being that these have to be produced in a mold. And in order to do that, they have to make certain decisions about, and some compromises really, about how these are put together. You can't just do anything, you know, things have to be able to connect, things have to, and holes have to be fillable and unfillable, whatever the technical term might be. And those compromises really give the sculpt much more of a statue-like, much more of an artistic, there's an artistic decision as well as a technical decision. And they can't just do anything they want, which is something they kind of can do with stuff that comes on sprues and there's multiple pieces. You can pretty much do anything you want. Whereas these have to be thought through much more carefully. You know, things like where the cloth will attach onto the leg and so on, how that flows down. The fact the tail doesn't have a gap in there. And yes, that looks like there's a little more plastic in there than you want it to be, but a little bit of careful painting, and that gets completely ignored because that's not what you're looking at. But I find these kinds of miniatures have much more personality, and I enjoy playing with them much more, and they have a weight to them too. The plastic or the resin is much heavier, and just much more interesting. You know, you'll see the way that her legs are sort of closed, and there could be a gap in the middle there, but there isn't one, because they have to close that gap up. Well, there we are. Unboxing of Hellboy. I'm a very happy boy and to have received this. The latest expansion, big box of Doom, whole bunch more stuff to play. It's going to be a while before this hits the table because I have an awful lot of stuff in my my list of items to paint. I have to finish Journeys in Middle-earth, which is on the desk at the moment, and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. But I will get there. It'll probably end up being like a year before I end up playing anything from in here. But we'll see. I'll be able to play the dice game. But talking about dice, the quality of Mantic's dice are very good. There's a really nice weight about them. And these look like the standard dice from stuck in the packaging. Look at that. Yeah, it doesn't look like anything special about these dice. They look like the same as they are. There's a nice weight to them, there's a nice shape to them. They're real well, and they hate you every time you play the game. They absolutely hate your existence. But there we are. Hellboy the board game, the big box of Doom, plus some other goodies. And one day, hopefully, I'll be able to get a game in. Thanks for watching.